Hello, welcome to our channel. Click subscribe button to see more content like this. Today we will tell about American serial killer and serial rapist Joseph James DeAngelo, also known as Golden State Killer. He murdered 13 people and raped over 50 others between 1975 and 1980. Joseph James DeAngelo was born on November 8, 1945 in New York. His father was a soldier in the U.S. Army. He had two sisters and a brother. In 1964, he enlisted in the U.S. Army and served during the Vietnam War. After graduating from university in 1968, he received various trainings and started working in a police department. He worked in the burglary unit from 1973 to 1976. However, his career as a police officer was terminated after he was caught trying to steal a hammer and a leash from a shop. In May 1970, he became engaged to a nursing student, Bonnie Jean Colwell, but this engagement was soon broken off due to his ill treatment of his fiancée. This breakup deeply affected Joseph's psychology and is believed to be behind his future crimes. In November 1973, he married Sharon Marie Huddle. They had 3 daughters. It's unknown what he did after being fired as a police officer. He worked as a mechanic from 1990 until 2016 when he retired. It's worth noting that DeAngelo discussed the details of his crimes and the motives behind the murders with his brother. He had a large record of crimes. It is believed that DeAngelo committed over 120 burglaries and 1 murder between 1973 and 1975 in Visalia area. The name Golden State Killer was coined to raise awareness about these crimes. Police was able to identify DeAngelo as a Golden State Killer only years later. He had been given different names by the media. He was nicknamed East Zone Rapist between 1976 and 1979. After moving to the Sacramento area, he targeted women who lived alone. He targeted specific neighborhoods. Sometimes he unlocked windows, emptied the magazines of guns before his attacks. He used to eat, drink beer, and hide in wardrobes, waiting for the owners of the houses to arrive. He threatened his victims at gunpoint. He always took the victims' belongings with him before leaving the crime scene. This is a behavior peculiar to psychopaths. While fleeing the venue of the crime, he never used the main roads, always left on foot or on a bicycle to ensure that nobody saw him in the neighborhood. His identity was not established for many years. It is believed that this monster raped more than 50 people. He committed his crimes during night. He started committing these crimes after moving to Southern California in 1979. Now he was targeting couples, killing all of them, except for the first couple he attacked. On October 1, when he intruded into a Goleta couple's house, the couple's neighbor, who happened to be an FBI agent, heard the noises coming from the house and pursued the perpetrator. Panicked by the alarm in the house, DeAngelo fled from the area. The FBI agent failed to catch him despite chasing him. He had a narrow escape. It was the day he was closest to being caught, leaving behind a knife and a bicycle at the crime scene. He entered the house again on December 30th and killed the farmer who lived there. The neighbors called the police because of the gunshots, but he had already fled from the area. He stole a motorcycle from a nearby house and then disappeared. The killer, who committed various similar murders, took lives of 13 people. These horrible murders continued until 1986. In early 2013, crime writer Michelle McNamara coined the name Golden State Killer. With the popularization of this nickname, the criminal cases related to DeAngelo were named Golden State Killer. The following is the psychological profile of the killer that the police took out in those years. He started his murders at the age of 26 or 30. He frequently had intercourse with prostitutes. He knows what the police inspect during the cases of theft. He is well-dressed but dresses in a way that does not attract attention. He is in good physical condition. He hates women. He is a skilled thief. It is believed that he sent poems to various newspapers in those years, but there is no definite information about this. According to various sources, media outlets dispatched these poems by themselves in order to attract attention and increase the number of audience. Now we will tell you how Joseph Dingello was arrested 44 years later. Police reopened a case in 2016. They promised an award of $50,000 for people who could provide information about the suspect. An investigation was launched through a website GetMatch where people would register their DNA. If they had any relatives or ancestors involved in any crime, their DNAs would match. The project gained nationwide popularity and was used to solve many crimes. One of Dingello's relatives sent his DNA, and it matched the murderer's DNA. As a result of this match, the police started investigating about 1,000 people who were linked to Dingello. Then the website identified 10 to 20 people who had the same great-great-great-grandparents as the Golden State Killer. There was only one person left who matched the murderer's profile. In 2018, the Sacramento Police Department arrested Dingello. The DNA taken from his car fully matched the DNA on the knife he left at the crime scene years ago. Like other serial killers, he denied his guilt at first, then said that he committed the crimes but that someone named Jerry made him murder and rape. All the surviving victims said that he was the only one committing these crimes. During the court, he behaved like an old and feeble man. But his actions during his detention, such as getting up on the table and fixing the lamps, exercising, etc., showed that he was lying in an attempt to manipulate the jury. Dingello pleaded guilty to all his crimes on March 4, 2020, and was sentenced to life imprisonment. In the court, he apologized to all his victims. Dingello is still in prison. Authorities believe that he is in good health and he will not die for a long time. After his arrest in 2018, his wife divorced him. His whole family, including his daughters, rejected him and told that they had no idea they had been living with a monster for so many years. The mysterious case was solved thanks to technological advancement. The case became one of the greatest achievements of forensic science. Many more unresolved cases are expected to be resolved thanks to these technologies in the future.